where you may be the issue of the relationship, where you may be in the stumbling block of the relationship, it's easier just to shift blame. Can we just all admit it's hard to take the blame sometimes? It's hard for us to say, we'll do it internally. I know that was my fault. Like, I know there's a lot of stuff, like I have bad ADHD. So like sometimes, and I have these neurological things that sometimes, like with my brother or whatever, I would argue just because it felt good. Not that I was right. I just like to argue. Like I was like, hey, your baseball team's no good, and this is why. Like it said something in that. So, but we shift the blame. And so it's easy for us internally to go, man, maybe I did make a mistake. Anybody with our spouse, when you know that you were the problem in that argument, you sit back in the bedroom or you got in the truck and you're driving and you're like, yeah, that probably was my fault. How many of us in that moment go, yeah, that was my fault? We pick up the phone or we turn around and go straight to our wife? Not many of us. We usually wait a little while. We usually wait. We're like, nah, let me, I'm already out of the house. I'm going to just go do what I was going to do. I'm going to go play golf. I'm already on the way to the golf course. I've already called buddies. We're just going to go. We do that instead of realizing that, and we shift the blame. We'll have issues in our marriage. Well, my daddy didn't really show me how to be a man in this relationship. Well, my mama did this. So we begin to shift the blame that it's the way we were raised, or it's the way that we were taught, and the things that that people showed us, or the environment that we were raised around in that we begin to do that. Oh, I got hurt by somebody, so I'll let you in to my home, but I'm not going to let you into my heart completely, because I'm going to keep that wall up just enough that if you begin to act crazy, I can reestablish the rest of the wall. So we were shifting blame on where we're at on that instead of realizing, maybe there was something that I need to do internally to fix the things around me so that everybody else finds the piece of it. It sounds like you have some bags to unpack. Instead of continuing to blame others for your action, it sounds like we need to do work for ourselves. And I'll tell you this is what I tell the youth group every Wednesday. I don't speak on things that I just think, okay, when I speak, I'm dealing with it. I'm not talking about marriage because I'm the best husband in the world. What's the old saying? I can say some things because I've seen some things. Can I stand here and be honest with you? She probably should have left me a bunch of times. Not probably, she should have. And would have had every okay to. But we didn't quit on the same day. There probably was days when she was like, I'm done. There was days I was like, I can't do this no more. Both of my parents divorced twice. One is in our blood. But it ain't. I can't let it be because I can't let their life affect my life. I can't let them determine what I got going on. Not when I say God's the Lord of Lords and King of Kings and He's worthy of everything that I have. I don't get to use the excuse, well, my dad was an alcoholic. Well, my mom was a drug addict. Well, my mom did this and my dad did this. And that's just how it was. Well, my parents left me and they left me with my grandma. And she was older. She couldn't raise me. We don't get to use that. Yeah, I get it. Listen, those things hurt. They're not fun to deal with. But we cannot use an excuse of where we're going in this. In 1 Samuel chapter 10, it's an interesting situation. Israel wants a king. They never had a king. They've been led by God up to this point. And they have had some judges and some prophets, but now they want a king. Samuel tries to convince the children of Israel, hey, you really don't need a king, but they demanded it. So he confers with God, and it says, Samuel, don't worry about it. Got it. We'll deal with it. I got a name for you. So 20 says this, thus Samuel brought all the tribes of Israel near, and the tribe of Benjamin was taken by Lot. Then he brought the tribe of, I think the versions are different than what y'all have than what I have, so I'm going to read from up there. Let me start there. Then he brought the tribe of Benjamin near the families, and the Matriarch family was taken, and Saul the son of Kish was taken. But when they looked for him, he could not be found. Therefore, they inquired further of the Lord, has this man come here yet? So the Lord said, behold, he's hiding himself in the baggage. He's hiding himself in the baggage. If we can be honest with ourselves, we can say that every single one of us has carried stuff into our current relationships or just into the everyday life. If we're honest with ourselves, we'll say that we have that, and we can willingly admit that we have it, and it's not 100% of hands. We just need to have an altar call for liars. Now, when we hear the word baggage, we automatically associate baggage with traumatic problems or issues, and it doesn't have to be the case. It just means you lived. There's no way you made it through life without a bag. Everyone has something. It's just like getting on a plane every day. You carry something on there. Whether it's your book bag, whether it's a one-day trip and you just got your book bag with your computer, whether it's a week-long vacation, you've got baggage, and most of the time you're overpacked. Most of the time you carry more than what you're supposed to carry. Most of the time you carry more than what you need for the week. So here's the thing. First thing, that was loud. My bad. Sorry. Bring your bags. Bring your bags. You don't get to carry your husband's bags. Husbands, you don't get to carry your wife's bags. Bring your bags. Everybody go on vacation and you get home, parents, you got to go back out to the car to get your kids' bags, and you're aggravated because your luggage seemed heavier at the end of the vacation than it did at the beginning of the vacation. Now their luggage seems heavier. Bring your bags to it. Don't try to act like you don't have bags. I tell me and Pastor Justin and staff conversations, I say, don't look like we're trying not to do something. If we're doing something, let it be. I have friends that have, and it's different for people, but I have friends that video, and I watch people, they video their whole service, and they'll have guys stand over the side with cameras, and they'll be on the stage, and it's like they're not sneaking around. If they're not trying to hide it, it just becomes something that you get used to being in that. When my issues, my wife knows my issues, so like I'm not trying to hide it, so she understands that things are happening, and there's days that are good and there's days that are bad. But it's knowing that it's there. So I bring my bags unpacked. This is how people show up in relationship. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't really have a bad past. And we get into these relationships, and then we start realizing when the husband does something, we're like, well, my dad would have never done that. Well, my mom, I can tell you right now, if y'all don't know, me and Christy, I can tell you dates. Our first date was on June 27th. We went to a wedding. I played softball all day, went to a wedding with her that night, June 27th. On August 8th, we were married. That is 6 weeks. We will celebrate 18 years this year. So when I tell you our first 2-3 years, we were still learning each other. We were still trying to figure it out. But some of our biggest arguments was, well, my dad could do this, and he did this, and he did this. And I turned around and hit her with, well, my mom had cancer, worked 40 hours, cooked breakfast and dinner, and washed all the clothes. That's not a good thing to say. Not a good thing. And women, ladies, it is not a good thing to say, well, my daddy can fix it. I call my daddy right now. He'll come over here and put that shelf up and no problem. My daddy can show you how to do it right now. No, don't do that. People don't want to bring their baggage into a situation because they're afraid of judgment. Well, if I let them know that I have an issue, then they're always going to bring that issue up. They'll never look past that issue if I bring it to them. They'll always see me as the failure. They'll always see me as the person that's struggling. They'll always see me as this. But we bring our baggage. Most people have baggage. They're just good at hiding it. All people have baggage. Some people just have a better smile. Some people don't wear their emotions on their sleeves. Some people hold their emotions in until it's a bomb going off. Sorry, I saw you throw your head up real quick. It threw me off. But we bring all of our stuff, even the stuff that we stuck away in storage. When we go through our luggage, we go through everything that we even stored up in the closet that we don't even go into, or we go into the attic with it. And then once we get all of our luggage and we get everything out, we have to unpack it. There has to be conversations. We have to unpack our bags. What was Saul doing? He was hiding in the baggage. That's what happens when you pile it all up. You hear a lot of people say, when we do marriage counseling, when they bring their bags, they'll bring up all their bags. I got this and I got issues with that, but they won't unpack it. We can say that we have it, but when we begin to unpack it, we understand where the root of it comes from. My mom was the one that got up and cooked breakfast and got up and she'd go do chemo 3 days a week and then she'd go work. But it was also because my dad, when they were together, my dad was working 16-hour days. My mom didn't have a choice but to cook breakfast for the kids and cook dinner because my dad would leave at 4 o'clock in the morning and sometimes it'd be 8, 9 o'clock before he got home. My mom did that even when she got married to my stepdad. My stepdad's the same thing. He worked multiple jobs, so he would leave for his one job at 5 o'clock in the morning. He'd get off there at 3, and then he'd go roof a house, a shed, or build a shed, or just till it got too dark. So my mom had to do that. So sometimes we're raised in situations of necessities, but we carry that into our relationships with people, not realizing that they did what they had to make sure we had a life. And sometimes it doesn't turn out normal. Some things that I grew up that I just thought was normal wasn't normal. Things that my wife grew up in wasn't normal. That's not normal behavior. Not that it's bad behavior, but it doesn't happen everywhere. But we have to bring that and have those conversations to unpack our bags. We don't want to unpack our bags because a lot of stuff in there is just hard. Because it'll bring tears to our eyes, and I'm not crying in front of people. It'll bring up a situation that I have to deal with, and sometimes we're just tired. We just don't want to open up Pandora's box. Because if I open up about this, it's going to lead to this, and then that's going to lead to this, and then it's going to lead to that. And then we found ourselves in a whole situation where we really don't understand how this whole started. We just realized that now we're sitting here with everything that ever hurt us out on the floor. But can I be honest? That's what we have to do in order to bring our best self forward. I know I packed it, but to unpack it. Man, how many of us go on vacation and get home and go, you know what, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. Is anybody else out there? Or like my wife is like, washer goes as soon as we get home. Anybody else like that? I don't know if there's one around here, but one of the best things I ever found in that, and I know when I worked on the road, I took my clothes to this place, and they washed and folded them. It was the best $35 a week I'd ever spent. Because I was in a hotel room, I just took it there, and they took care of it. Man, sometimes after a vacation or being gone, I'm like, is there a place around here that I can just drop off and let it be? Because I would put that into my budget. It's tiresome to unpack bags. You're already tired of everything that you went through. You're already tired of everything that happened. It's work to unpack it. But some of the most extravagant gifts come when we can give our spouse our empty self to understand that self-care and our own work for us. Everything is not about you and her or him. Some things are about you. Some things are just you. Some things are just your issue. But when you express it, she's your helpmate. He's your helpmate. They're people that you're going to this relationship with. The people around you, they're there to help you through this process. But they can't help if you want to tell the truth. I watch a couple of TV shows, and some of the most aggravating things is when they're like, I can't tell you the truth because you don't want to. If you tell the truth, this show would only be like 3 episodes. And we'd be done. And move on. And then I think of another movie is We Can't Handle the Truth. Some of this ain't got nothing to do with everybody around us. We're triggered by stuff from when we were 15 and we brought it into our marriage. We're triggered by the way that our dad handled stuff. We're triggered by the way that we brought it in, and now it's her problem because you're the problem and you're hers. Your bag's not really the problem, it's the stuff in the bag. The bag when you were 7, and now it's her problem for some reason, or it's his problem for some reason. Your ex-relationship is your new relationship's problem because you don't know how to deal with it. I almost fell right there. This transparent moment, I'm very transparent. I don't, like I said, I don't hide nothing. If I almost fall, I'm going to let you know I almost fell. So you're like, did he almost fall? Yes. I almost just fell. But we carry a problem from past relationships into our new relationships, and we expect them to just be able to deal with it because we're afraid to deal with it ourselves. We have to unpack our bags. We can't just let them and throw them under the bed. If we throw them under the bed, eventually the bed becomes uneven. If we keep piling stuff under the bed, then eventually the bed becomes uneven, and then all of a sudden we're laying on the weird side of the bed and we don't understand what's happening. And we think the bed's broke when really, even if we replace the mattress, the bed's still uneven. You may have a hard time unpacking, but I'm telling you, what you've got to do is unpack your bags. You want to find peace in your home? Unpack your bags. You want to have peace in your life? Unpack your bags. The third thing is you got to sort through your stuff. You got to sort through it because most people that unpack bags do a very poor job of labeling them. When you sort through your stuff, that's where you go, you know what? If you want to know where I flare up right here, when I was 8, this is what happened. When I was 7, this is what happened. And so every time something like that happens, it triggers me, and I don't know how to really deal with it because I've never had to deal with it. But maturing is finding out that the things that keep triggering you is the things that you've got to let go, because if not, you're going to find yourself in a position that you need stuff. I had a conversation with someone, and I told them, I said, if you don't deal with this at this age, you're going to be just like me at 38, feeling like when people cancel plans on you, do they even really like me? If you don't deal with the issue of being alone or being let down, person had been left by parents and other people had taken her in, and I just said, if you're not careful, you'll be my age trying to figure out, do people really even like me? I mean, my own parents left me. So we deal with stuff now so that later people don't feel the impact of our pain. My dad yelled at my mom a lot. So when you raise your voice, I'll shut down. And I want to know why I can't go blank. Why I can't go blank. Now this is me. You may say passionate things and I'm even loud. Well, I'm passionate and that's just how I am. And I'm emotional. But have you asked your person about things? When you find out those things, you'll realize those conversations have to shift because yes, you're emotional. Yes, you're passionate. But for them, it's a trigger of pain. When somebody had to watch their dad yell at their mom and hit their mom, when you get loud and your hands go up, it's a trigger point. And you'll see them shut down, and you'll see them you'll see them get loud because that's what the man in their life did. Or you'll see them run because their parents have been divorced so many times they lost count. Or their moms went through boyfriends or dads went through girlfriends over and over, so there was a cycle of people in and out of the house. So it's easy for them when things get hard just to check on to the next person. If you're not careful with that, then leaving is always an option. If you're not dealing with your issues, then checking out is always the option. Finding someone new because this is over. Moving on to the next house, and I tell you this, we moved a lot as a kid. From the time I was, I'll say kindergarten, to the time I was in the 5th grade, I probably lived in 12 different houses. Parents divorced in the middle of that. Because of my mom's situation, my dad got custody. We moved a lot. So for me, change is hard as an adult because we changed a lot. And it should be easy, but there was trauma in that because there was a new school. There was a new city. There was a new neighbors. There was new everything all the time. But we have to sort through this stuff. I'm not saying that people can't be loud and can't be passionate about what they do. I'm just saying when it's normal and that's your normal, it triggers people. I'm sorting through my stuff. I'm not blaming this on anyone else. I'm just telling you, the more you sort through your stuff, the better you show up in your marriage. The more that you can unpack things, the more you show up better for what you have going on. You're working on you, and that helps your marriage. When you work on you, you better y'all. When you're dealing with you, y'all become better. As a church, when we work on us, when we deal with us, we become better. Individually, when we figure out things us and we begin to work on us, we as a whole become better. And that's why we say we're better together, because we're a bunch of individuals working on ourselves, so that when we come together, we're able to see things the way that they should be seen, not the things that we want them to see. The last thing is put away your stuff. We've done the hard stuff. We've unpacked it. We've sorted through it. Now we got to be able to put it away. Put it where it belongs. I don't mind folding clothes. I will wash, dry, fold clothes, hang up clothes. I absolutely despise putting them up. This weekend, I folded clothes. Christy went home to be with her dad. While he had surgery. I folded all the clothes. When it was time to put up, kids, come get these clothes. Come get the clothes. And you put them where they belong, because I don't want to come in your room and have to do it. So I absolutely despise putting stuff away in that. It's an issue. I'll wash dishes. I don't have no problem washing dishes. Man, I can't stand putting them up. I don't know why. And then I get mad when my kids and everybody don't put them up where they go or how they should go. So then I'm just back to taking everything out of the cabinet, putting it back in there. So, but we put our own stuff away. How do we put it away? You need to know where stuff goes. To properly put something away, you have to know where it goes. Like, my kids can't put our vacuum cleaner in their closet because that's not where it goes. It goes in a certain place. We have to know where it goes. So a lot of the stuff in our past is where we need to put it, in our past. A lot of stuff that we dealt with in other relationships, we need to leave it in other relationships. Your past is ruining your present and keeping you from seeing the future. Did he not say that you couldn't eat of every tree? Eve was deceived. My bad. Adam, God, it's your fault. Eve was like, hey, messed up. Adam was like, you put her with me. You did this, not me. I didn't ask for her. You thought I should not have somebody. Are you self-aware enough to know where your bags are, how to unpack them, and where to put the stuff up? When I'm praying about me and how to better myself, God's never brought up Christy. When I'm praying how to deal with me and make me better on things, God's never brought up my wife to me. He's never said, well, if you can tell Christy to change this, then it'll be better. He's never said, well, if you can tell her how to parent better, it'll be way. He's never said that. He's always said, well, if you'll turn your heart, if you'll fix yourself, you'll see things. People will follow you by your actions and not all. Listen, they love to hear your words because you're charismatic or you're good at speech, but they'll follow your actions. The best bosses I ever had in the shipyard were the guys that weren't afraid to go down to the hole and get dirty. The ones that would change hard hats from a boss's hard hat to a worker's hard hat and go down there and lift things up and hold it and drill holes and put things in. Those were the best bosses I've ever had and the ones that I could get along with. This is why God spoke to Adam and Eve after their sins. He dealt with them. Brittany, if y'all want to come on. This is why God spoke to Adam and Eve after the sin. He dealt with them individually. He said, okay, Eve, it's going to be tough for you when you have kids now. That pain is going to be there. Science evolves and they make epidurals to help, but you're going to have to feel the pain of the birth. Then he told Adam, none of this was supposed to be work for you. None of this was supposed to be work for you. You're supposed to enjoy this. Now you're going to sweat. There's going to be an angel with flaming swords going back and forth. Mission Impossible hasn't been made yet, and so you won't get back in here. There's no sneaking back into this place. If you're dating right now, you got a cheat code. There's premarital counseling. The very next session, when you're ready to make that step, show up with everything you got. Good, bad, ugly, the sucky parts, the great parts, the parts that make your spouse, the person mad, the parts that make you mad. When we bring everything, we get everything. God feels what we remove. Check them all in. Leave them at the counter. I've never showed up to an airport in my flying and they said, "Are you sure you're bringing all that with you?" They just take it. You pay for it, but they just take it. They've never asked me at the counter, are you sure you're taking all that luggage with you? They just say, "Set it up here. Put it on the scale. We'll take that weight off of you, and we'll take it from here." They go, "Put it up here." Some of the stuff that you need to unpack, it might cost you the work, extra time, and it's most likely going to cost you some extra apologies. But if there's commitment to pay the price, if there's commitment to leave it where it's at, to understand that where we're at and what we have going on in life, to unpack it, even if you're not married or you're even thinking about marriage right now, if you'll begin now to unpack everything that you have, so that when you're done and unpacking it and putting it away, and that person does show up, and when you try to sing John Legend to them, you get to actually tell the truth. All of me loves all of you. You guys can stand. So we lay it all down and we unpack everything we have. Then our friends get the better version of us. Our spouse gets the better version of us. Our kids get the better version of us. The more I talk to people in this community, the more I realize that a lot of people in this community grew up just like me. Moved a lot. I had a friend tell me one time we moved every time the rent was due. I said, "Sure felt like that sometimes." But we watched mom and dad argue. So then when we got married, we just thought that was part of marriage. We watched mom and dad not go on dates. So when we got married and had kids, that just became part of it. We just knew that didn't happen. Husbands, let me tell you, date your wife. If you can carve time to work overtime, if you can carve time to listen, Pastor Wayne Hall said this at the marriage conference. Sometimes that's going to the Dollar General and walking the aisles. Sometimes that's not sending her to Walmart by herself. Doesn't mean you got to go out to a steak dinner. Sometimes that's just riding in the car because you want to go put gas in it at night so that you don't have to wait in the morning and she's got to do it. But when we bring everything that we have and lay it at the feet of Jesus, then our relationships get everything that we are and not only what's left. Because if I hide it enough, people won't see it, but people see it. those close to you understand that you're not like your daddy because you didn't have to deal with the pain that her daddy had to deal with. You're not like her daddy because you dealt with something that you didn't deal with. Be honest with you, I watched crazy things in life. I could tell you story after story. I could tell you how I watched my dad in the living room hit my mom when she wouldn't sign the divorce papers. I watched my dad be so drunk that he didn't know how many beers he had in the refrigerator that me and my brother, by the time I was 12 and he was 15, we could outdrink just about everybody at the bars. I watched my mom go through stuff and stick with people while she was dealing with her own stuff and not knowing how to unload that baggage. Watched my mom tell me she loved me every day because her dad walked out of her life, signed her over for another man to take custody. For years, I carried that into my marriage. For years, I said divorce wasn't an option, but I sure wasn't afraid of it. I said it wasn't an option, but it was a choice. Now, some of y'all been through divorce. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where you are right now. What are you doing right now that betters you tomorrow? There's a point in our life where baggage seems so heavy. And if I'd have had time, I probably would have got people to bring luggage and I'd have walked around with it and had some illustrated of it. But I think if we're honest with ourselves, we can see our own baggage. We can see the torment, the pain, the heartache. We can see why every time our husband lifts our hands around him, we clench. Because that's what my daddy did. Or every time that we get mad, we just leave because that's what happened in my household. And I'm afraid if I deal with me, then it's going to expose everything. Then I've got to answer for that. But can I tell you, I can take you back. I can take you back to the place that I was dealing with my issues. 2019. Found on the floor, crying. Broke down. And my wife had to pick me up. And I had to tell her everything. You talk about pride being sucked out of you. You talk about failure coming to the forefront. And you've got to man up. And I tell you, I struggle with men's things because we want to talk about how tough we need to be. And what we need to do. And John put his hand on the breast of Jesus with tears in his eyes. I'm not saying life gets perfect. We still have issues. There's still days that we don't get it right. But every day, we're learning still to this day, we unpack our bags. We sort them out. And then we put them up. They go where they go. The past, the trash, wherever you want to put them. But they don't go into tomorrow. The altar today, this is about you. If you want to walk down here with your spouse, you can. But I want to encourage you, this is about you. You can't be the best for that person. And even if you're not married, you're not engaged, this is still about you. That's why this altar is not about the couples, it's about the individuals. Because if I can't deal with me, then I can't be there for her. And this is for those that have been married a year, those that have been married 50 years. When we deal with us, they get all of us. They're going to sing a song. I don't know what they're going to sing. I told Brittany whatever she feels like. But here's what I want you to do. These altars are open and we have leaders that are going to pray. I want to pray with you. And I'm telling you, I'm praying with you, not as a person that's got it figured out. If you'd have been here Friday night, you'd have known I struggle with pressure. But I don't have this figured out completely. But what I have figured out is that if I'll empty myself, He'll fill me up. That if I can release everything that's holding me back, He'll slingshot me into tomorrow. Better lay that pride down. Ain't nothing more flattering than you laying that pride down to your spouse. I promise you that.
This hold it back. Just lay it all down. He can take it all. He's not afraid of your past. You won't scare him away. He already knows. So take all I have. It's all yours anyway. I know it's not much, but God, it's my everything. I pour my oil on you. I pour my oil on you. Doesn't matter the cost, 'cause Jesus, you're worthy of every last drop. And here is my offering. I pour my oil on you. I pour my oil on you. Every last drop, every last drop, every last drop. Every last drop, every last drop at the feet of Jesus. Every last drop, every last drop, every last drop at the feet of Jesus. Every last drop, every last drop, every last drop at the feet of Jesus. Every last drop. Every last drop, every last drop at the feet of Jesus. Every last drop, every last drop, every last drop at the feet of Jesus. Every last drop, every last drop, every last drop at the feet of Jesus. Every last drop, every last drop. Every last drop at the feet of Jesus. Take all I have. It's all yours anyway. I know it's not much, but God, it's my everything. I pour my oil on you. I pour my oil on you. Doesn't matter the cost, 'cause Jesus, you're worthy of every last drop. And here is my offering. I pour my oil on you. I pour my oil on you.
God, everything that we have. God, my prayer this morning, God, is that everything that we have, we lay it on your feet, God. God, remove the things of our life, God, so that you can pour in what you want for our future. God, I pray today over this room, over this house, God, over these families, over these individuals. God, that we're not carrying baggage into tomorrow of yesterday's hurt and yesterday's pain. God, but everything I have, I give it all to you. God, I pray, God, that you be with these families, be with these people, God, be with these individuals of life, God, as they go through this week. God, I pray that you be with us, bring us back Wednesday night, God, as we just worship and honor you throughout this week. God, it's in your wonderful name we pray. Amen.